Today we're making beef bourguignon. Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're making beef bourguignon, or some call it beef burgundy. This is beef stewed over red wine. That's why I got its name from the Burgundy. So here's the recipe we're gonna need for our dish. We're gonna need about 3 pounds of chuck roast cut into chunks, 1 pack of bacon, thinly sliced and chopped, 1 piece of onion sliced, about 4 pieces of carrot chopped. We're going to need 3 cups or probably more of beef stock, 5 pieces of garlic minced, about a tablespoon of fresh thyme, 3 pieces of bay leaves. We're going to need some flour to thicken our sauce, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and we're going to need 1 pound of pearl onions, some mushroom cut in 2 quarters depending on the size, and a little butter. Also for this dish we're going to be using a red wine. You can use any type of red wine you like. Some people say that you always cook with the wine that you drink. It's up to you. If you don't drink wine, you can just use beef stock or beef broth and just leave that wine out. So here's the complete list of our ingredients. So first things first, we'll place our pan over medium to medium low heat, and then what we're going to do is we're going to render out our bacon. If you don't know what rendering out means, it's another word for just saying we're trying to extract the fat from the bacon. So what we need is we need to set our heat to low or medium low so that we don't burn the bacon. And at the same time we're extracting the fat from it. So this will take a while. So while we're waiting for the bacon to render, season our beef. We're going to season our beef with some salt and pepper. Mix them around. Make sure you season all sides. And that should be good. Now we just continue rendering our bacon. Alright, our bacon has browned and we extracted the fat. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to strain our bacon and we're going to set it aside. So what we're going to do now, in the same pan, set your heat to high and we're going to be searing our beef. Also, keep in mind, when you're searing your beef, make sure not to crowd the pan with the beef, so that they have enough space to brown. So we'll add in our beef. Make sure to sear both sides. Keep in mind, at this point we're just searing our beef or browning it. We're not fully cooking it yet. And that should be good. We'll remove our beef and set it aside. And we're going to continue cooking the rest of the beef. Alright, now on the same pan, we'll reduce our heat to medium. And we're going to saute our onion and our carrots. So what we're doing here is we're sauteing the onion, and at the same time we're infusing the onion and the carrot with the flavor of the bacon. Okay, this should be good enough. We're gonna place this in our Dutch oven where we're gonna be cooking the rest of our dish in the oven. Now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna set our heat to high on our pan again, and we're gonna deglaze our pan with 2 cups of your preferred red wine. Again, if you're not using red wine, you can use beef stock or beef broth on this. The purpose of this is so we can get the bits from the bottom of the pan, and at the same time, we're trying to reduce the sauce and evaporate the alcohol. So we're gonna leave it on our high heat and let it reduce for about 5 minutes or until reduced. All right, our red wine is reduced. Let's turn off the heat and we're gonna assemble everything in our Dutch oven. All right, so our Dutch oven, or if you don't have a Dutch oven, you can use any oven-safe pot. We're gonna put all our beef in there. And our red wine reduction. Also, forgot to mention, we're preheating our oven to 325 degrees. So while we're waiting for them to warm up, we're gonna add in our remaining ingredients. We're gonna add in our garlic, add in our bay leaf, and our tomato paste. Then we're gonna add in beef stock or beef broth, enough to cover the whole dish. Make sure to give everything a stir. Oh, and don't forget our potatoes. Nearly forgot the potatoes. And our fresh thyme. So our oven's preheated. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna cover this up, place it in the oven, and then we're gonna brace it. We're gonna brace it in an oven for about 2 to 3 hours, stirring occasionally. So we're gonna be cooking for about 2 to 3 hours, and we're gonna be occasionally stirring it every now and then. And we're gonna be cooking until it's nice and fork tender. While we're waiting for our beef to cook, what we're gonna prep is we're gonna prep our pearl onions. So first thing we do is we're gonna chop off the end. A shallow cut. You don't want to completely cut it so that everything will fall apart, because you want them to hold their shape. And just gently remove the outer skin. So just like that, keep it intact. So just remove the outer film, and that should be good. All right, let's do another one. Again, do a shallow cut on the tip, and take out the outer layer. So we're just gonna continue doing this for the rest of our pearl onion. All right, so we finished peeling our pearl onions. Now let's check on our beef and give it a quick stir. All right, let's give it a quick look. Oh, look at that. It's looking nice. We'll give it a quick stir. At this point, this is when we're going to be adding in our flour. Let's turn our heat on real quick on high. Grab our flour. I personally like this method because it eliminates making a roux. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add some flour over a strainer. Let's just do about 2 tablespoons for now. Then, using a whisk, mix it in the strainer. I love this method. It's very nice and clean, and it doesn't leave you clumps at the end. So what you're doing here is you're making the sauce thick, but at the same time you're not leaving any of those clumps in your sauce. You can continue doing this by adding more flour if you want it thick, but I don't want it too thick, so this is good. See, you see, that's not in your soup. That's not in your sauce. So it made the sauce a little thick. Again, it's up to you and how thick you want it. You can add in more. We're doing it at this stage so that the flour still has time to cook, because we still have an hour left of cooking. So just give it one last stir. Let's cover it up and place it back in the oven. Okay, now in a small saucepan, we're gonna slowly cook our pearl onions. We're gonna add in a little butter. We're gonna wait for that to melt. Then we're gonna add in our pearl onions. If I forgot to mention, our heat is set to high. So just constantly stir until they're nice and brown. And then what we're gonna do next after that is we're gonna add in our liquid, which will be the beef broth, to slowly cook the inside. All right, now we're gonna add in about a cup of beef stock or beef broth. We're gonna cover and let it cook for 5 to 10 minutes. All right, next is our mushroom. We have our heat set to medium high. Gonna add in some butter. We're just gonna let that butter melt a bit. Once our butter's melted, we're gonna add in our mushroom. So we're going to continue sauteing this until our mushrooms are nice and soft. While the mushroom's cooking, we're going to add in a little salt and pepper. Then we're going to add in a little of our thyme, fresh thyme. Now it's up to you on how you want to make this. If you want to just do a one pot dish, you can put all the mushrooms and pearl onion in the pot as it's cooking in the oven. But the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want it to get too soggy. I want the mushroom soft, but not too soft because it absorbs all that liquid from the gravy. But just like what I always tell you is there's no wrong way in cooking. Experiment on how you want to do stuff. Add in more ingredients if you want. Kind of like the potato. This doesn't usually come with potato, but I like potatoes for my pot roast, so I added that on this dish. So at the end, when our beef bourguignon is ready or done from the oven, I can add this into the pot. Or you can keep them separate and add in as you want on your plate. All right, and just like that, our mushroom's ready. Our pearl onion is still cooking. We'll get about 5 more minutes. And then what we're gonna do next is just wait for our beef to finish cooking. So turn off your heat on the stove and we'll start putting everything together later. All right, we've simmered our pearl onions for about 10 minutes. It's nice and soft. You don't want it too soft. You want it to hold its shape, so this is perfect. Turn off your heat. Now all we're waiting for is the beef. Okay, we've been cooking it for about 2.5 hours. Our beef should be nice and soft. Let's go take a look. Oh, look at that. Now's the perfect time to add in your seasoning. If you want, give it a taste first. It should be a little on the mild side, but if you want, you can add in more salt, pepper, or even Worcestershire sauce. You can remove the bay leaf. Personally, I just want one pot, so I'll put all the mushrooms and the pearl onions in with the rest of the dish. But you can keep it separate so that it doesn't get too soft. And the pearl onion. Give it a nice stir. Now the bacon, I did not add it because I want it crunchy. So you can just drizzle the bacon at the end on your dish or on your plate. Or if you want, you can put some of the, or you can put some in the pot along with the rest of the beef. It's up to you. So now let's just plate our dish. So here's our finished dish. Beef Bourguignon or Beef Burgundy. So I hope you enjoyed today's recipe and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.